You were born to change the world. Yes, you. Not someday, not once you're healed or rich or ready, now. But maybe you're lying in bed at 2 a.m. hoping for anything that might help. Or you're watching the world burn and still blaming yourself for not doing more. Maybe you're exhausted, worried about money, or overwhelmed, trying to claw your way back to what exactly? A job that drained you? A world that was never built for people like you in the first place? No, you don't need to get back to who you were. You need to become who you were always meant to be. And the best thing that will help you do that is purpose, the way you're going to change the world. Because you are what is known as an evolutionary, someone born to help build a world that actually works for all of us. But evolutionaries are often the ones who struggle the most because you feel it all. You see what's broken and you carry the unbearable weight of knowing things could be better without knowing how to get there. So you end up burnt out, believing you need to fix yourself before you can do the thing you're here to do. You don't realize purpose isn't the prize at the finish line. It's the fuel that gets you there. So in this video, part 4 of my How I'm Healing My Chronic Illness series, I'm going to show you why purpose isn't a nice extra, it's a lifeline, how to find your purpose even if it feels impossible right now, and how to take the first real doable steps toward it, starting today. Earlier in this series, I shared why there's no one-size-fits-all fix. In video 1, how the autoimmune protocol diet helped me start healing my body in video 2, and how internal systems help me heal my mind and trauma. But this is the thing that made all the others possible. So let's be brutally honest. When you're stuck in survival mode, you don't lie awake dreaming about changing the world. You think, I just want to eat food that doesn't make me worse. I just want one day where I don't feel like I'm failing. And for a long time, survival was all I let myself want. Having a mission in life sounded like something for other people. So I didn't want to change the world. I just wanted a life that didn't suck. But here's the truth. No one is riding in to save you. There is no one expert or no miracle cure. Because you're not the side character in someone else's redemption arc. You're the main character in your own. And if your life feels like a shipwreck, purpose is the thing that helps you keep steering, even when you're scared and clinging to driftwood. Because when you know why you're here, you stop drifting and you start steering the damn ship. But what if I don't know my purpose? I didn't either. People kept telling me to follow what you loved as a kid, but I didn't have the kind of childhood where I could dream. By the time I was old enough to think about a purpose, I was already in survival mode, too busy trying to hold myself together to have some bold, shining vision for the future. So if that's where you are at too, I want to offer you something different. Here's what I found actually helps. Start with what hurts. Not what lights you up, not what makes you come alive, but what makes you ache. What's the thing you've struggled with for years? What do you wish had existed for you when everything fell apart? Now imagine, what if you helped create that for someone else? What if your purpose came from your own pain and your longing to make sure no one else goes through that alone? So if you don't know what your mission is yet, maybe start here. Ask yourself, what's the pain you never quite got over? What do you wish someone had done for you? Seriously, pause for a moment. Write down just one sentence that starts with, what I wish someone had done for me is. That sentence might feel raw. That's good. It means you've found a thread worth following. If you're up for it, share that sentence in the comments. You never know who else it might help. And if you're not ready to say it out loud, write it in a journal or whisper it to yourself. That still counts. Because that question, the one you just answered, is how everything started for me too. Now, I'm about to share the dream that pulled me forward. A dream that was and is ludicrously ambitious, but it gave me a reason to keep going when nothing else made sense. And I'm sharing it now, not because you should have the same dream, but because it might help you find yours. So take a breath, write yours down if you haven't yet, then come with me, because this next part, it's how it all began. For me, it started with one feeling: abandonment. I felt abandoned by doctors who didn't believe me, by friends and family who disappeared, by a world that didn't know what to do with someone like me. And I started asking, what do I most wish had been there for me? If I could design something that would have made everything feel more hopeful, what would it be? That's when the dream, the vision came rushing in. I saw a healing center, a stone castle in the Scottish Highlands, surrounded by rewilded land with pine sap and wildflowers in the air, wind in the trees, space to breathe. Imagine you arrive shattered, and someone's already waiting at the door with a smile that says, "We've been waiting for you." You're shown to your own room with soft light and clean sheets. You meet your team, a nutritionist who helps you find what works for your body, a trauma therapist that's trained in IFS or similar, someone who helps you release what you've carried for decades, a functional medicine doctor who treats the causes, not just the symptoms. And then the moment you're bracing for, how much is this going to cost? But instead the finance person says, it's already covered. Your housing, your food, you're even given a basic income so you can rest and heal without panic. Because here, your recovery is the plan. And later that week, you walk through the campus's social enterprise hub, where businesses which are doing good are launched. It's alive with people building climate solutions, healing centers, new co-ops, new economies. Then there's the school where kids are actually thriving, a library with fireplaces, big wooden tables where people eat together and laugh. And a minister of fun. Yes, really, because here, joy is not a luxury. It's mandatory medicine. And somewhere between your second helping and your first real laugh in months, it hits you. You're not here to recover so you can go back to who you were. You're here to become who you were always meant to be. Because if you're anything like I was, your first thought might be, yeah, that's a beautiful dream, but I could never do something like that. Or worse, that'll never happen, not for someone like me. And that's exactly what we need to talk about next. Purpose doesn't show up when your life is tidy and well rested. It shows up when you've been through hell and you're still here. All those sleepless nights, all that heartbreak, all the impossible choices you had to make just to get through the week, they didn't ruin you, they readied you. You've built strength the hard way. You've earned empathy that can't be faked. You've developed a kind of X-ray vision for injustice and bullshit because you've lived through it. You don't fall for easy answers, and somewhere inside you've always known this isn't how life is supposed to be. That means your struggles aren't just something to overcome. They've made you the exact kind of person the future needs. So when purpose comes knocking, it's not asking if you're ready. It's saying, you already are. If your brain's yelling, sure, but not me, not like this, let me show you what it looked like when I started. with a question I couldn't stop asking. Of course, I had no idea how to make that dream real. I didn't have enough money or energy. I just had a vision I couldn't ignore. I knew I wanted to build a healing center someday, but I had to ask myself, what's one thing I could actually do right now with what I have? And eventually I figured it out. I could start a YouTube channel. I could try to reach the people I imagined coming to that center and help them how I could now, by sharing what had worked for me and letting them know they weren't alone. So I filmed my first video on a secondhand iPhone, balanced on this old coffee table I painted badly years ago. I didn't have a plan. I was terrified. I nearly threw up before pressing record. But I did it anyway, because I couldn't keep waiting. And once I took that first shaky step, things started to happen. Now, your version might look totally different. Maybe it's not a video, maybe it's opening a blank document and naming your dream out loud. Maybe it's telling one friend what you actually care about. Whatever it is, it probably won't feel like a breakthrough. It will probably feel too small, too late, but it counts. That one small act is how purpose starts to move through you. I paused for 6 months at one point because it got too hard and too scary. But I came back, and each time I showed up, even shaking, something inside me grew stronger. I started finding my rhythm, my voice, my people. I got a grant to help buy filming equipment. I practiced how to speak on camera. And now I'm building a community, Evolutionaries United, for people like me, gifted, sensitive, mission-driven, trying to change the world while still figuring out how to survive in it. And the truth is, every step I've taken has felt scary. I've felt out of my depth more times than I can count. The only reason I've kept going is because this is bigger than me. This work matters, even if I never see the end result. I don't know if I'll ever have the healing center I dream of, but I'm committed to the path anyway. Because even if it happens long after I'm gone, I'll know I did what I came here to do. It's still hard, but I'm not stuck anymore. I'm not in that pit. I'm moving and I'm on a mission. So, let's come back to you. You, the one watching this right now. Let me ask you straight. What would you build if you stopped asking for permission? You don't need a castle, but maybe you need a space where your joy isn't too much, where your weird ideas aren't weird, they're genius, where your pain isn't something to hide, it's something that's earned you the right to guide others. That place, it starts with one decision: to stop editing yourself down to what's acceptable and start following what actually matters. And if you want to take it a step further, if you'd like to join others like you who are done waiting and ready to begin, I hope you'll join the private membership community I'm building. It's opening later this year, and you can be one of the first to help shape it. There's a link below. But if you're still thinking, but what if I don't have a purpose like that? Listen, you do. It might feel ridiculous. It might sound too big, too weird, too you. Good. Because that flicker, the one that won't shut up no matter how tired you get, that's not fantasy. That's the ember. The one that stayed lit when everything else went dark. So don't wait for permission. Don't wait until you're ready. Don't wait for the world to make space for you. Start with the one thing no one can take from you, your reason for being here. Let it burn.